What's going on, everybody? Today we have a Hyundai Elantra. We're doing a brake job on all four corners. We're going to be replacing the pads, the rotors, the calipers, and the brake hoses. And I'm going to show you just how to do that. So first things first, you need your parts. And of course, we have a driveway job here, so please don't mind my broom that I was trying to clean up some leaves. We got our brake hose for our front passenger side, our front pads, front rotor. We also have our caliper, full caliper assembly. Now, why are we replacing the calipers? Well, he's complaining of grinding noises, and upon further inspection, the rear calipers are actually, the pistons are just stuck. You cannot push those in for the life of you. The front ones, they're not very well lubricated. The guide pins, yes, we can replace the guide pins and maybe refinish the actual bracket that holds the caliper in place, but honestly, it costs you what, 80 bucks to 100 bucks to replace one of these. And I mean, honestly, going this route will save you so much time and frustration. It's just an easy one-for-one swap. So let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up the side at the center, lifting up both sides at the same time so I can work on both of them simultaneously. And this will help when you're bleeding the brake lines as well. So I'll lift this side up. I'm actually opening up these windows because it's actually kind of stinky in there. As you can tell, this is for a company that takes care of your dog waste in your yard. So you can imagine the smells inside are a little less comforting. So what I'm doing is opening up all the windows, even the sunroof, to make sure that we can air out this car and maybe give a couple sprays so it's a little bit more tolerable. So this vehicle actually has aftermarket wheels, so you need a wheel lock key socket to get these off. This was found in the glove compartment, luckily. I was going to text and ask, but kind of seems like I found it on my own. So I'm going to use this to take off both wheels. So once you have the wheel off, what you want to do is take off the bracket for your caliper off, as well as, since we're replacing the brake hose, we're going to detach that as well. May leave a little bit of a mess here. Just keep in mind to kind of keep the brake fluid at a minimum. Kind of hard to do though. You're going to still have some drippage unless you have something in place to catch the fluid. But in this case, we're just going to, it's a driveway repair, so we're just going to kind of let it drip on the driveway. It's a 17 millimeter socket. Right back here, these two. Oh, we got kind of coming in on an angle because of this sway bar linkage here. I got the solution for that. Yes, sir. Get yourself one of these. Lifesaver. Presto. Remove the bottom one as well. All right, we got it off, hanging on our caliper hanger here. I had to take a flathead screwdriver, kind of pry it off. It was on there pretty good. Take your rotor off. Now, sometimes that might take some elbow grease to get that off. What you want to do is then tap it with a hammer, circling about until it comes loose. And the brake dust shield is still intact and not brittle, which is really surprising because for some reason on these cars, they love the rust. And these things are the first to just turn up brittle and just fall apart. Had one where I just touched it and just moved it a little, and the whole thing from bottom to top just fell off. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I had to text the guy and say, listen, it doesn't affect the drivability, but you're gonna have a lot more brake dust on your wheels. And he was okay with it, so it's just good to let them know. All right, and then you take off your brake line bolt that goes into the caliper here. Take this washer off. We have new washers to replace this with, so oops. So, and then you want to clean that off before reinstallation. So we have everything apart. We're going to take this brake line, take this brake hose off from the brake line where it attaches here at this junction. So this is an 11 millimeter. So you take an 11 millimeter open wrench. Where'd it go? Take an 11 millimeter open wrench, and then you loosen that, while this is still on here, because if you loosen this bracket, forget it. You won't get this thing off. So, and then while the bracket is still on there, you want to take out this clip as well. With a pair of pliers, you can do that, or you can take this off, bring it to a vise, and just like lightly tap it out. Working a little ahead of myself here, so I removed this. This bolt is a 12 millimeter. Remove that, and then remove this from the shock body. It has like kind of like a bolt mount here for your brake hose. I'm hoping that this is also a 12 millimeter. Let's find out. It is. Easy peasy. And then your ABS sensor or speed sensor or whatever sensor this is supposed to be for. Want to gently kind of pinch and get this sucker out of here. Okay, once you have your brake hose removed, this is the clip that you want to remove. This here. This is kind of a pain. There might be a special tool for it, but what I have found useful is just kind of figure it out with pliers, flathead screwdrivers. Oh, that's nasty in there. But yeah, just to get this sucker out, pulls out this way, and then reinstall with your new hose. All right, to install your new rotors, I have the lug nut back in place because these two hold down screws no longer exist. This is actually pretty common, especially with vehicles with a lot of mileage and has had maintenance before. These will end up rusting out where the mechanic will just say, forget it, throw it away, toss it. Which I agree with. These things actually have like zero function other than holding it in place while it's straight while you're doing your brakes. But to me, it's like, just put a lug nut in there. Once you mount the wheel on it, everything should straighten out on its own. All right, to prep the new caliper for installation, we're going to attach the brake hose first, just to have it on there so we're not reaching it back and doing anything or forgetting it. So it's pretty simple. It's got a little notch here that locks in place so it doesn't really move. You got to add your copper washers on the bottom. There's a nice little groove for it, and then one on top for where the bolt goes in. All right, should look like this. We cleaned off the threading of the bolt. So to get your brake pads and hardware ready, we're going to remove the guide pin bolts here and here. Remove the caliper from the bracket. So these bolts are 14 millimeter. You want to put these aside. Oh gosh, trying to do this one-handed. One thing you also want to do while checking your new calipers is to make sure that these guide pins are nice and lubricated. See, that comes out pretty easily. Okay, for the brake caliper bracket bolts that bolt onto the hub, we're going to add some nice blue. That'll kind of hold things in place. And once you have that installed, it's ready for your brake pad hardware, your clips. So what I like to do is add a tiny bit of grease, just a dab, on all sides. This isn't necessary. You can install the clips dry if you want to, but just a little tiny dab, that'll do you. So once you install your clips, sometimes you'll notice that you have these like tabs sticking out here and then here. And then if you look down here where the rotor meets, these tabs sometimes can stick out. So what you want to do is you want to grab a flathead screwdriver for this portion and just kind of press it down, you want to compress that so it's not making contact with the rotor. And then once you're done with the job, you don't want to be driving around and all of a sudden hear a very high-pitched squeaking sound. That's not what you want. And then for these tabs, just take a small hammer and just kind of tap these shut, kind of fold it over, so that way your clips hold in place. Do that for the rear side too. Then what you want to do is install your pads, but then just add a little dab of grease on the inside of the clips. That way it's a little bit easier to get your guide your pads in. All right, and once you have your pads in, what you want to do is more lubricant, just kind of where the caliper will be touching the pads. Just so, I mean, yes, this cover here kind of covers all that, but just to add a little bit of insurance. Now what you want to do is slide this sucker on like so, and then while holding that and not filming one-handedly, you want to bring your guide bolts, your guide pin bolts to hold that in place and tighten that. It's just a hand tighten. I'm going to add some thread locker glue to it just for so they don't come out. Now obviously you don't want them extremely tight, just as tight as you can with a hand socket wrench. Should be good. Next, we're gonna loop this under this sensor because that's how it works. It's comes and clips into this little hole here, and then use your 12mm bolt and mount that back on your suspension setup. Then we can work on connecting the brake line. Now, being that this is an aftermarket part, if you can see how close this is, that doesn't really fit. Yeah, I'll remove the sensor first. Kind of give this a couple. There we go. And I feel better about that now. So, with this hardware reinstalled, we kind of want to match this up with the shape somehow. Oh my god, I got a leaking. There we go. So you want to match that up just like so. Just like so. And then we're going to add our clip. Can't do that one-handed. So we got the clip. We're just going to tap it in with a hammer. There we have it. And once that's all together, take your 11mm wrench again. Start tightening this. Alright, once that's all done, everything else is put together, we're going to move to the rear and then get the rear side done. The rear's a little bit different because it has the parking brake, so I'll show you how that all goes about. But I'm going to keep this lifted up so that way we can bleed the brakes later. Take this cap off just in preparation for that. Okay, so for the rear calipers, this spring is attached to these two holes here. How to remove this, basically this nut here on this arm, you want to remove this. This enables this arm to move a little bit more freely. Then what you want to do is remove this spring. What you can do is you can use a pair of pliers and just kind of drag this over to bring this up, and then this should easily come out. Next, what you want to do is, since this portion of the parking brake is then hooked on to this portion, you want to take a flathead screwdriver and kind of wedge it in here and kind of pry it open until you can easily get that parking brake cable removed. And then we turn around here, you see this clip right there. Let me get a better view. This clip right here you got to remove, and then that way we can bring this whole cable out and then reassemble it, go backwards, reassemble it on your new caliper. This is the only difference that you'll see between your front and your rear caliper. So once you have it to where you have this little space in between, what you want to do, you want to wedge your flathead like so and just kind of pry this. I can't do this one-handed. No, we should be able to fit it in there. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now it's out. Presto. And this is a good example of what I'm talking about, these brake dust shields. It's just, as soon as I took off the wheel, this sucker just falls to the ground. Alright, so for the new caliper, as you can see, I loosened this nut so that way I can move this arm like so, and then I can hook that onto the parking cable. So that's what we're going to do. So you want to reinstall it like so. Grab your clip. Oop, grab your clip so that doesn't back out while you're trying to maneuver this thing on. Grab a hammer, just tap that clip in. Good to go. Then you want to loosen this nut here, so that gives you a little bit of breathing room to pry this open. Let's turn this. Oop. Come on, cooperate. Let's cooperate, please. It's right there. Come on. You're right there. There we go. And you see how that clipped on? That hooked right on there. Now what we do is we're going to retighten this just a little. Yes, probably do that by hand, but I'm not gonna do that, so sorry. All right, once your guide pin bolts are removed, set this caliper aside for a moment. Here's your bracket. We're gonna do the same as the front. We're gonna set it up in a way. I'll put the rotor on first before we do that. Okay, so same thing for the fronts. You're gonna do the same exact thing for the rears. Everything that I explained up front, you're gonna do the same for the rear. The only difference, once again, is obviously the parking brake, parking cable, I should say. So we're gonna put these clips and pads in the same way how we did up front. And tighten her all up, bleed the brakes, and we should be able to go out for a test drive. So it is kind of hard to get back here with this spring, so what I did was I was kind of like wedging the socket to bend the spring up a little bit while I'm tightening this. However, you could use a shorter socket too, but just be mindful that you're not really going to be end of the world apocalypse if you're just moving that spring a little bit. It's made to move, so as long as it doesn't pop out of place, I think you should be fine. So this is an excellent opportunity to actually talk about the brake hose bolt that goes into the caliper and how it's designed. As you can see, there is, oh, I gotta clean this up a little bit, but as you can see, there's a recessed part of the bolt in which the fluid can travel all around here, come through this hole, and it's hollowed out. It comes out this end. And then that feeds the fluid into the caliper and presses the piston. It's kind of cool. All right, so the car's dropped down now. It's nice and aired out now. We sprayed some nice freshener in here. It smells really good. It's Walt's office, the Walt Disney whatever. It smells nothing like an office. It smells like something tropical, but now it smells a whole lot better. We got all new brakes all around, so, and that's the least of his worries. But as long as it's safe and back on the road to do more poop pickup. On to the next one. I have timing chain chatter on my Hemi because when we did the cam swap, I didn't change any of the timing components. This was a mistake, and now me and the mad scientist have to mad scientist being me, so I have to tear everything back apart again and replace the timing chain tensioner, the timing chain guide, and wherever needed the phaser gear, right? I already have one on order with the lockout kit already pre-installed, so I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And I will uninstall the other cam phaser. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it comes with a set, so I just sort of mine as well, right? It's one of those things where like, oh, here's one available for the whole set, but it comes with the cam phaser gear. Oh, but I have the option of installing the lockout kit. Okay, yeah, sure. Instead of like ordering all of them separately, you get a better deal if you're just like, you know. And you know, anybody that's seen the previous videos on the cam swap, the cam phaser gear, the tone ring has kind of a bent window. So I'm a little concerned about that. Not overly concerned. I have no codes whatsoever, but you know, it would be nice to just, let's just put a different one in, and then I could fix the other one a little bit better. Maybe even resell it or something like that, and just put that in the description that it's broken or whatever. Not broken, but like, you know, it has a slight bend in one of the windows. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I hope this helps somebody. Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.